What's up, guys? I'm back. Another 100% race. You guessed it. That's pretty much all I post these days. This one is another My Team video. So you will recall that what I did was I did a season. I think it was one season, maybe two. I can't remember. Anyway, I did a season or two and just did like 5 lap races, one shot quali. Made sure that I got all the resource points that I could, but the idea was to build up some resource points and some cash money for the team so that I could then be on a pretty good foot going into this season. And the intent was to do 100% races for this season. And that's what I've been doing, and I've uploaded a couple of those. We had a DNF at Bahrain with a mechanical failure. We had a race at Imola where I got 12 or 15 seconds of time penalties from track limits violations, which was unfortunate. And then we had Portugal, where I made a terrible strategy call, which I think was the last video that I've uploaded here to this channel with 100% races from my team. So that's the current state of the season. We've yet to score points. We've got Carlos Sainz on the team. He is fast, of course, and he's scored a couple times, I think, already, so he's nice to have on the team. And I'm just showing you my last qualifying lap, which was also my fastest qualifying lap, but was not fast enough. I do think I've got the AI tuned pretty well. You'll see that Sainz got a 117.648. I got a 117.731. So anytime that you're within a tenth of your teammate, I think that you've probably tuned the AI pretty well. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. But you'll see that I qualified P16, which is not ideal. We don't love that. There's always hope that there will be a grid penalty from somebody in front of you. So hopefully we can move up a spot or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on who's taking engine penalties and grid penalties and who needs to just change parts and change the car and park firme. I don't know. But the point is, I think there's room to go up. And the timing on this is nice. So the Spanish Grand Prix was last weekend in real life. I filmed this video, got the footage on Tuesday night after the Sunday of the Spain race. I'm now recording this commentary on Thursday after the Spain race, and we've got Monaco coming up this weekend. So the timing is nice. The track is obviously fresh in the mind. We've just seen people racing here. I think my car looks beautiful. Check that out. But we've just seen everybody racing here, so it's kind of fun to now take the car, the digital car, and do a race on the same circuit and sort of experience the same battles and that sort of thing. So I think that's a lot of fun. I really like how the timing is working out here. I think that I will be ahead of the real-life schedule pretty quickly, assuming that I can find some time to do the Monaco race soon, because there are always gaps in the real-life schedule. You know, we might have 2 or 3 weeks off, and there is a good chance that I'm going to be able to get at least 1 or 2 100% my team races done during that period. So we should have an opportunity to kind of jump ahead of everybody. But for the moment, we're slightly behind. You see Sainz there in P12, and then you see me in P15. So I did move up 1 space. It looks like Verstappen took a grid penalty, if I'm not mistaken. And we're in front of the cars that you would probably expect us to be in front of. The Haas's are behind us, Williams. I think there was at least 1 Alfa Romeo. So as you can see here, the suggested strategy for me was a 1-stop. And my intent was to run a 1-stop here. So to have that suggested to me, that was fine. I'm obviously choosing my tires starting in P15. I chose the medium and hopefully get some decent pace on the medium and then put on the hard and go until the end. If there are safety cars, that will botch that. If it rains, that will botch that. But it doesn't look like it's supposed to rain currently, so I should hopefully be okay, fingers crossed, and we'll see what we can do. So not the greatest of starts here, as you can see. I am managing to stay in front of Giovinazzi and Raikkonen and Ticktum behind me, but I did get passed by quite a few people. Verstappen, you saw, had an absolutely rapid launch off the line. Stroll had a pretty decent start as well. I do get past Stroll right there. Just got a little cheeky. He opened the door, so I went in there, and I took it from him. And that, I don't know that I would call that not bullying the AI, but keep watching because I definitely do bully the AI at points during this race, and I don't feel that bad about it, honestly. They're AI, so that should be fine. But you do see here a situation that I kind of experienced a lot during this race. They just brake earlier than I'm expecting going into that turn there out of the DRS zone. And there are quite a few times when I was really grinding and trying to make up some time on people in front of me where I almost run into them, just go a little deep. It's also a decent place to pass, I think, because I found it very difficult to pass on the start-finish straight because I was not getting good. I was not getting good exits of the very last turn. So fast forward here to lap 5. You see me almost run into Russell in the same way there, and there was more of that to be had. But I'm in a position here where Verstappen is running up through the field on his soft tires. I am within a second of Russell. So I'm keeping the DRS. I built a little bit of a gap on Antonio behind me and Stroll behind him. So I'm feeling okay with the people behind me, and I'm getting pulled along by this DRS train, which I was ecstatic about. Verstappen is faster than the rest of us. Russell is within a second of him. I'm within a second of Russell. So I'm getting pulled along, and this is every lap that I can stay in this train is helping me stay in front of the guys behind me when it comes to pit stops and such. So I'm feeling okay about this. I thought about having to go at Russell there. Like I said, I wasn't getting a lot of opportunities in the start-finish straight, so I was really trying to take advantage of those on the other DRS zone when I could. I just went a little deep again, made contact with Russell. I hit the vehicle condition engineer prompt. I don't think you could hear it, but he said that your tire wear is looking fine, which means there's no damage to the car, which is nice. Just not the greatest of ideas there, but I kind of went for it, and I thought maybe he'll give me room and I'll be okay, but it didn't happen like that. So fast forward a little bit, lap 14. I'm still in this same little DRS train here. I'm right behind Russell. Verstappen has made up some time in front of us, and you see coming out of the pits are Ricardo behind me is the main one here. So Ricardo had a lot of pace on these new medium tires, man. Like it was, obviously they're newer mediums. The McLaren is a lot better car than I have right now, so it wasn't that surprising. But in the moment, when we're in the race and he comes out of the pits and is just flying, I was a bit surprised by it, and I was a bit caught out and maybe found myself in some positions where Ricardo was in places I didn't expect him to be because he was going faster than I thought he was. So I'm trying to get away from Ricardo a little bit. I made an interesting little little dive bomb on Russell and Mick, and Mick didn't give me any room at all. Don't know that he had to, but I bullied the AI a little bit, and I certainly bullied him right there. That was a cold-blooded move. I'm sorry to Digital Mick for that little incident, but I bullied the AI successfully, and we are off to the races. Check the vehicle condition again, no problems. Fast forward to lap 18. Ricardo, as I mentioned, is rapping on his new mediums. He's catching up to me very quickly, but I will point out there that Sainz is 4.5 seconds in front of me. And he's on the same strategy that I am, hopefully not pitting on the same lap because that would be a colossal error in team judgment. But you see Ricardo get past me very easily. I followed him with DRS as much as I could. This is 3 or 4 laps later here. I am within time of Sainz to hopefully make an overtake. And as you can see, unless something changes, Sainz, who is on old mediums, behind Ricardo, who is on new mediums, will not have DRS at the upcoming start-finish straight. And I was able to pass guys on the start-finish straight when I had DRS, and they didn't have DRS. So we are hopefully in a position here where I should be able to make the pass. So you see me hit the DRS, sort of faint to the inside there with Sainz. This is not team orders. This is an organic pass with the help of DRS, and I'm through. But I did have a lot more pace than Sainz did, and I wonder if that's just a case where the AI is pretty OP in quali and not so much in the race. You see me get the pass on Ocon there, and he was not giving it freely, so we did have to wheel bang a little bit, unfortunately. But I am making really great progress through the field. You see Sainz is almost 3 seconds behind me now. I'm past Ocon, and I am sitting pretty. It looks like I'll be unable to catch Ricardo before I pit, which should be happening in the next 2 or 3 laps here. Lap 29, I think. Yeah, you see me diving in the pits here, lap 29. And I'm 5 seconds behind Ricardo, a little over 1 second in front of Alonso. You see me pit 2.2 seconds, actually the fastest of the race. I don't think I show you that at the end of the race, but I did look at that, and I was the fastest pit stop of the race. So shout out to the team there. I think I drove really well in this race, but I also think that it didn't hurt that I had the quickest pit stop. So fast forward a bit here. The other guys are all pitting. They're going to their ultimate strategies. You see Sainz and Russell appear to both be on the one stop, going medium to hard. Alonso and Tsunoda do not appear to be on the one stop. I would think that what they are doing is like a soft medium, which the AI loves to do, a soft medium. Especially on this race, I think it was either a one stop or a two stop. And if you went one stop, you probably went medium hard. If it was a two stop, you probably went like soft medium or soft medium soft if it was doable. So I thought when I came out of the pits that P8 was a possibility, and Alonso pits there. He's a little over 6 seconds in front of me. He's on new mediums. I don't think there's any way I'm going to catch him. But Tsunoda I can certainly stay in front of. So I think P9 is probably my ceiling at this point in the race, and I think it's a really realistic possibility. So I'm absolutely going to go for it. I'm 8 seconds in front of Tsunoda at this point. You see me get a little bit uncomfortable there with Mick. I thought he was going to let me pass right there. He ended up taking the racing line, and I had to sort of divert and go around him. I lost about a second to Tsunoda there, so I was mad when that happened. I was raging a little bit, which you didn't see, obviously. But get past Tictum there. It's now 5.5 seconds-ish to Tsunoda, and I'm pushing as hard as I possibly can for this whole hard stint. I don't show you a lot of it, but fortunately I had a lot of clean track, no traffic throughout this second stint on the hards. And that was really allowing me to just sort of grind the laps, put some good time in, keep Tsunoda behind me, because I'm on old hards at this point, and Tsunoda's on these relatively fresh mediums. So I knew he was going to have a go at catching me. It looks like, fortunately, he got caught up in traffic with that last lap car, because on lap 65, he basically brought the gap down to about 2 seconds, and now it is 3.3 seconds. So I think he might have gotten caught up with traffic trying to pass that car, much the same as I got caught up trying to pass Mick a couple laps ago. It might have been 10 laps ago, actually. I don't know. But a few laps ago, at least. And so I'm feeling pretty good at this point that P9 is in the bag. I just have to stay smart, not make any crucial errors. But fortunately, that is what I did in this race. I felt like I had a decent quality lap, about on par with my teammate, kind of what you would expect for the car where it is at this point in the season. We're the fourth worst car, so it's not like we're competing for poles here. Hopefully we will be as we continue to get some upgrades. I think I got a few Ultima upgrades that should be on the car, maybe for Monaco. If not Monaco, certainly the next race, which is Baku, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. You'll see when I upload it. But you see me piping in this last lap here, just staying clean, staying smart, which, as I was saying, is what I did this whole race. I really was just focused on executing my strategy, staying within DRS zone, within a DRS time when I could, and just capitalizing on my track position, riding other guys' DRS as far as I could up the field, and I get driver of the day for it. So we love that. I got a P9 here after starting P15, finish in front of Sainz on the same strategy. Got my first points of the season, which is great. And I really just felt like I executed really, 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 really well in this race. And it didn't hurt that I had the fastest pit stop. It didn't hurt that I had a lot of clean air on my second stint on the hards. So I think it honestly just worked out about as well as I possibly could have expected. You see there that I was the top one-stop timer, or the top one-stopper, I should say. A bunch of other people on the medium to hard strategy, but I was the one who made the most of it. You see driver standings there. I'm now up to P14 with my first points, and we are P15 or P8 with 15 points as a team. So I think it's my best 100% race so far against the AI. I love this. Great race.